Welcome to Minds and Money TV. My name is Carly Stevens, Conference Production Manager for Minds and Money. And today we're thrilled to be joined by QEM Managing Director, Gavin Loyden. Gavin, welcome.
Hi Carly, how are you? And thanks for having me today.
Fantastic, excited to chat. So tell us a little bit about QEM. I know that you're based in Queensland. I know that you have a lot going on, but what else can you tell us about the company and what you have happening at the moment?
Sure. Well, we're obviously an ASX listed explorer. We're looking to develop the Julia Creek project, which is a little bit unique. It's a multi-commodity project. So we're based in an oil shale unit. Our primary objective is vanadium, but it's contained within an oil shale band. So we will be extracting the oil from that as well. And there's a couple of other factors there that we're working through. There's some HBA potential. We're not really too focused on that just yet, but there's certainly some sulfur that we'll be using for acid production, that sort of thing. So quite a circular project, actually.
Amazing. And with all of that going on, because it sounds like there is quite a bit, what recent news would you really like to highlight to investors?
Well, I think the latest issue that we've been working on, because we're in such a remote area, is a power solution. So we designed a gigawatt renewables project, which is adjacent to our tenement area. The reason we did that, we've been talking to Copper Spring for quite some time about how that might roll out over the last couple of years, and of course now that that's under development and under construction, the inference back to us was, or the suggestion was, to look at a rather larger scale of project to see if we can attract some global investors, and we've been successful in that. So we've got a short list of 3 at the moment that we're working through, and we hope to bring an agreement to that over the next few weeks, as a matter of fact. So that was one of those infrastructure pieces that we need. We need power, so we've just taken this to a little bit of a different level, and hopefully we'll get some benefit from that. Cheap power obviously being our main objective over a long period of time. We're doing a similar thing with water. But yeah, without those infrastructure pieces, it makes it a little bit difficult. So that's the bits we've been focused on. We're just about to release a scoping study over the next few weeks as well. So we've got a few key drivers. We've got a new JORC coming out before Christmas. So there's a number of things going on here at the moment that should set us up very, very well for 2024.
Fantastic. There was a problem that needed solving and you solved it by the sounds of it.
Yeah. And as I say, we've taken this to a greater extent, understanding that they needed more generation west of Hughenden to trigger Copper Spring, and I think this is part of the reason that the government's taken that on, because this sort of fills that gap, if you like, between where we sit and the wind farms at Hughenden and then Mount Isa to our west.
Absolutely. So some really extensive future proofing, if you like.
Correct. Yeah.
Amazing. So what opportunities do you see in the next 12 months, and how are QEM positioned to take advantage of those opportunities?
Well, I think the real opportunity for us is to, we'll be moving into the PFS phase proper early next year. As I say, with this scoping study, it's quite an advanced scoping study. We've done a lot of work, including building a pilot plants to test our theories. We've got flow sheets. We've got for both vanadium extraction. So we're quite advanced in the PFS. It's not going to take us as long as would otherwise be the case. We're well involved with our water monitoring, with our flood modelling, with our environmental. So we're hoping that's going to be less than a 12-month piece of work. But the assistance that we're getting from government here in Queensland has really helped with that, and it will continue to through the next year particularly. So they've actually created a priority development precinct around Julia Creek and Richmond in Queensland for the vanadium industry. The batteries, the government's recognised very early that these are the batteries that we can build in Australia, that we do have the IP for, and you only need vanadium redox flow battery. And of course, you don't need cobalt, you don't need nickel, you don't need anything. And more importantly, it was invented here, and the IP still exists here, whereas that's not the case for forms of batteries. Flow batteries, I think, are much better suited to the grid, whereas the things for your car, your electronics and so forth.
Yeah, sure. And so important for investors to hear that, you know, having a really strong and well-supported jurisdiction in which you're operating. I think that's an amazing thing for investors to know. I might just get you to lean forward a little bit. I'm losing the audio on that a little bit for you there, Gavin. I didn't want to do that. Another key point that investors are always really interested in hearing about, obviously people are the key to success in any organisation. Would you like to share with us some insights into your management team and how they are affecting and, you know, the culture of your company, the productivity, the operations?
Yeah, certainly. And you're very correct. I mean, you invest in people, not widgets and projects. You invest in the people that are behind the lives of people. And we've been very lucky, very fortunate, and in the team that we have got here, particularly on the board. So Daniel Harris is an integral part of our board. Daniel Harris is probably the world's foremost expert in vanadium. He's physically walked every project on the planet, I think, for vanadium. Over 40 odd years in the business, and he sits on the board of AVL as well. We've also got Tim Wall, and Tim is the managing director of BP. So that's our oil and gas side of the equation. And just recently, we've had Tony Pearson join us. Tony's the ex-MD of HSBC. So we think we've got the skill set covered within the board group, and that's leaving us in very good stead. The executive management below that, of course, is well versed, and our project manager Chris Visuet is very, very good at his job. So we're very comfortable where we sit at the moment. Next year, obviously, we'll start to expand.
Yeah, amazing. Such a strong base of expertise and experience there. And it sounds like you said, very well versed for everything that's to come for QEM. What do you see as the key risks and challenges? I guess this is another topic of conversation. And how are you overcoming these? What strategies have you put in place? We touched on the power, access to power issue, and you've implemented some changes and really exciting things there. What else is on the cards at the moment?
We've taken a similar approach as we've taken with, you know, this common user activity. I'm sure if your listeners are aware that the government has already supported us in a $75 million critical minerals demonstration facility that they're building in Townsville. The government can get behind these common user facilities. So we've taken a similar approach to water. Water's a little bit restricted out there in Julia Creek as well. So we're looking at a pipeline project to potentially bring water from Lake Julia. So that's something that the group of vanadium producers or potential producers have put together. We all contributed to a study, and we've handed that back to government now. And part of that precinct design that they've got around Julia Creek and Richmond allows the Coordinator General to come in, make some legislative changes to allow Sunwater, who is the owner of the assets, to get involved in this project. So it's a work in progress. But it's one of those ones, if there's a number of companies and the town itself and some of the agri business that are looking for water security, then this is a great way to do it. And it's a piece of infrastructure. Amazing.
What I'm really enjoying hearing there is the collaboration between community and country and companies, and just seeing when a good plan comes together and everyone buys into it, you know, physically and financially, I guess, then the results speak for themselves. So that's really exciting to hear. What sets QEM apart from other companies in this space of vanadium and, you know, in terms of jurisdiction and projects, and what makes you such a compelling investment opportunity for everyone out there?
Well, I think it's the fact that we are this multi-commodity opportunity. We haven't been scared of the oil component within the oil shale resource. I think it's something that's becoming a national security issue for us, is our lack of domestic supply of fuels. Our intention is to producing a low sulfur diesel on site for distribution within the North West Mineral Province, where it's going to be needed for quite some time into the future. Currently, we're importing about 98% of our diesel, most of which comes down from Malaysia and South Korea, and of course, it all comes through the Malacca Straits. So it's becoming a security issue. I think, you know, through the pandemic, we've understood that our lack of resilience can leave us exposed. And fuel security is right at the top of that. So we haven't been worried about that. And in fact, it actually assists us with the extraction of our vanadium process as well. But we always saw the two revenue opportunities as what makes this or de-risk this project quite considerably.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Gavin. I think we've covered a lot of ground in a fairly short space of time, and really appreciate hearing all of the updates from the QEM space. You will be joining us later in the month at Minds and Money at IMARC. You'll be available to take meetings and set meetings with investors and anybody interested in hearing more about the QEM story. We look forward to seeing you in Sydney and hearing everything that's to come for QEM. Like I said, there's some really exciting things happening, and we appreciate so much hearing all of those updates.
Thanks very much, Carly. Appreciate your time and look forward to seeing you in Sydney.
Perfect. Thanks, Gavin.
Bye-bye.
Resourcing Tomorrow, accelerating the energy transition. 100 plus countries represented. And together with government representatives, mining and energy professionals, ESG experts, financial and professional services, industry associations, investors, and consultants, Resourcing Tomorrow will address critical mineral supply, the energy transition, environmental resilience, the circular economy, ESG, our future workforce, AI automation and machine learning, digitalization, mineral processing and plant optimization, exploration and development projects. Have your say in the future of our industry. Join us for Resourcing Tomorrow from 28 to 30 November 2023. Register today